Hey everyone, welcome to this new video on BIM roles. Today we are going to cover a few things or a few roles that we need to really pay attention when we are working on BIM projects. BIM stands for Building Information Modeling, as you know, and you should be really aware of if you have been watching my YouTube channel. Right, so let's jump to the first slide. And here we are going to see the four main roles that we have. We have the BIM modeler, the BIM lead, the BIM coordinator, the BIM manager. And these four roles are going to play a really vital part in every single one of your projects. So make sure that you can understand these four main roles, especially the first one and the last one. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. All right. So BIM modeler, by definition, a BIM modeler is someone who really understands how to model. They know the 3D software by heart. It could be Revit, or the other popular one is ArchiCAD. And some people claim that SketchUp is not really a BIM software, but anyway, any one of those and even other 3D softwares can be used for the BIM modelers. They are expert in at least one of them, and their main responsibilities are model creation, because they know 3D software by heart, so they can actually help you to create or develop this 3D model. They know data integration, so they can apply data to each one of the elements. And this is why sometimes SketchUp is not considering this in this situation, nor AutoCAD, because they don't really have elements that you can apply metadata. Even though I know that in recent updates, AutoCAD actually you can in some way apply some data to the elements, but they still not really elements. So anyway, let's move on. BIM modelers can also work on the updates. There are a ton of times that I've seen that the model needs to be updated because the client requested something to be updated because there is new information, there is some new as-built. So the BIM modeler will have to actually model maybe everything or make some updates. They also play a vital part on collaboration. They are usually discipline-specific modelers, so they only are able to model one of the disciplines, but they can talk to each other and they can anticipate to avoid clashes, to avoid design issues or anything like that. So they will be able to talk a lot with other disciplines, and especially to the engineers and the architects. All right, so why do we need to understand the BIM modeler? Because if we need something to be modeled again or to be modeled, we will reach out to the BIM modeler and not to the BIM lead or to the BIM coordinator or the BIM manager or anyone else, but the BIM modeler. Why? Because they are usually charging for modeling. So make sure that you reach out to the BIM modeler if you have a 3D modeling issue or if you want some data to be integrated with your model. All right. Now let's move on to the BIM lead. BIM leads are usually also discipline specifics. They know a lot more than the BIM modeler about modeling. They have years of experience. Usually they have many years of experience, and they are senior BIM professionals. They usually oversee the work of a discipline, and they have a number of modelers under their responsibility, and they serve as the primary point of contact for any BIM-related issue within their team. So, as I said, they are discipline specific. All right. So what are some of their responsibilities? They are the team leadership. They perform quality control. Usually they are in charge of the templates. So if you have any templates and you are requesting a change of those templates, you should reach out to the BIM lead. They also perform coordination within their specific discipline, and they are the technical expertise. They know everything that is to do with the software, or almost everything. So if you have any question about the software, you should reach out to your BIM lead. Why should we understand the importance of the BIM lead? Well, because those aspiring to take on more responsibility in the BIM process, they should look out to become a BIM lead. This is a crucial role, and this requires a combination of technical expertise, and also they require a lot of leadership skills. All right, so make sure that if you have any questions about a specific discipline on modeling and on performing quality on the models, you should reach out to the BIM lead. Now let's move to the BIM coordinator. The BIM coordinator, by definition, is responsible of managing the coordination of BIM models across various disciplines. So he is in charge of management the models but across disciplines. So they usually are the link between the different disciplines, and they ensure that the different models are compliant with the contract agreement. And they make sure also that every discipline can resolve any clashes or any issues that may be identified and resolved early in the project. So what are some of the responsibilities? They do clash detection and resolution. They're in charge of these clash detection meetings where they present the model, they show the model, and they discuss some really important issues with clashes or with other things such as model integration. Maybe there are models that didn't get updated and they need to discuss why. They also perform quality assurance by checking the BIM standards and protocols of the specific project, and maybe even the BIM standards, the national ones. So they are really important. They also serve as communication and collaboration because they facilitate the communication between the different disciplines. All right, they are the ones that are aware of everything that is going on in the different disciplines of this specific project. So why do we need to understand what the BIM coordinator is? Because they usually work with the project manager and they understand the project better than anyone else, in the sense that they know the models. They know the federated model, which is the combination or the when you compile all the models into just one main model, and they perform clash detection and design checks to make sure that is in agreement with the contract. All right, let's move on to the last one, which is the BIM manager. That by definition, the BIM manager is responsible of overseeing the entire BIM process. It could be in a project or across an organization. Usually the BIM manager oversees more like the entire organization and not just a specific project. They are usually in charge of creating the BIP or the building execution or BIM execution plan. They manage the BIM team or the teams, and they ensure that all BIM related activities are aligned with the project's goals. They usually are the main contact with the client. Sometimes in bigger projects, the BIM coordinators are also the ones that have maybe not daily but weekly meetings with the client. So some of the key responsibilities of the BIM manager are the BIM strategy and implementation. So they create the BEP, the BIM execution plan, and they also are the team management. They make sure that we have enough resources to perform the work. They do the training and development. Again, if you have bigger projects, you will want the BIM coordinators and even the BIM leads to create these trainings and and to participate in helping everyone to align to a certain level to meet the client expectations. They also see the project oversight, and they are the main key in the stakeholder engagement. So they make sure that the project aligns with what the stakeholders are expecting. So why would it be so important to understand what a BIM manager does? Because he is the main responsible person for the project. This role requires a deep understanding of BIM processes, strong management skills, and the ability to think strategically. BIM managers are responsible for ensuring that BIM process is successful and that it delivers value to the project and the organization. So, conclusion, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a BIM modeler, a BIM lead, a BIM coordinator, or a BIM manager? You don't have to be or to aspire to be a BIM manager. Not everyone wants to be a BIM manager or a BIM coordinator or a BIM lead. Every one of them have different responsibilities. So the BIM modeler model, the BIM lead leads, the BIM coordinator coordinates, and the BIM manager manages. So make sure that you understand those 4 key roles and plan ahead what do you want to become. All right? Bye.